Operations room, are you receiving?
Operations receiving loud and clear, over.
Operations room, you're clear to go. Go, go, go.
Operations room here. Roger Wilco. All understood. Okay, chaps, get your sprue out and get your clippers at the ready. Okay, Johnny, let's go. Tally-ho, tally-ho.
Well, there we go. Morning all. It's Sunday, and we're back live to carry on with the Helldiver. I'm going to do what we normally do, and we're just going to sit here and see who joins us for a little bit. Then we're going to head over to the bench. I am joined by my co-conspirator, Mr. Carl.
Good morning.
How are we doing? You all right?
Yeah, running late, so I'm still setting up.
There we go. Don't worry.
There we go.
I'm
almost there.
Busy looking on the other screen.
It is a very busy desk this morning.
Yes, you've got a lot going on. What's going on?
So, we have some repair work from the model show at Perth, so Scottish Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
We did take took a couple of models. We took the ATST from the 48-hour build, so that'd be apt for going on the M4H desk, seeing as that's what it was built for.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a little piece of armor on the way out, though. Unfortunately, I dropped the box that they were all in. So we have some repair work on the track, and a couple of the aerials have snapped off. So not too much, not too difficult. So
yeah,
we shall get those repaired during the show today, and then see what else we're up to. So I've got a lot of tidying up in this room to do. I'm going to have a good old spring clean, shall we say.
Yeah.
Packed away where it belongs, because it comes out and it just gets left and things just get spread out. And left.
Yeah, I know that feeling so well. I need to do the same in here. As you can probably see behind me, there's loads of bits and pieces everywhere. And
so
the other side's even worse. So
yeah, so we bought a few bits and bobs at the show.
Good show.
It was okay, a little quiet. I think it was very much like Telford this year, with it being the first year back. It was quiet. First day, there was enough people to make it interesting. And reasonably busy enough, not chock-a-block.
Yeah.
Second day was very, very quiet, though, by comparison to what it has been years before.
Yeah.
So, but I think now that people are getting used to going back out, I think the shows are just going to get busier and busier and busier. So
yeah, let's hope so.
So hopefully we'll be in Dundee in a few weeks.
Oh, you're doing Dundee as well. Oh.
Yeah, and hopefully, if I'm off work, of course, I can't see that far ahead on my schedule. I only get to see 4 weeks in advance. And hopefully we'll also be at the Edinburgh show at Murrayfield for the day as well.
Oh, nice.
Depending on work. So we shall see. We shall see. Hopefully.
Cool.
And my other news, I won't say just yet, because it's not finished yet. So
okay.
So, yeah,
teaser.
Quick teaser. So that's where I'm at.
Even teaser for me, because I've got no idea.
Just spent a week in Stoke in the motherland. Did get a chance to go to E-Models. It was just too much to do. So, but there'll be a video from myself onto E-Models channel out at the end of this week, hopefully.
Oh, wonderful.
Like I say, I'm going to get everything tidied up, and then we are going to get back onto the bench, hopefully a bit more regular.
Yeah.
So,
hopefully.
What about yourself?
Me?
I know I've seen some very teasing pictures and some very tempting pictures, so looking forward to you sharing this with all those folks out there.
I've been a little busy. I've got some bits and pieces done with the Hellcat, which we'll go over in a minute or two. We're sort of getting to a point where I hope in the next week or so we're going to start using some paint and stuff. So, so that's pretty cool. other than that, yeah, nothing exciting going on with me at all, really. Other than making lots of mess behind me. Let's have a quick look at the chat. Obviously, there's hello from me and Sprewbox. We've got Dominic saying good morning. Morning, Dominic.
Morning, Dominic.
We've got the model tracker there saying good morning to you both.
Morning, Lewis.
Mark at Edinburgh Modelling Man Cave. Oh, I said it all in one go. Look at me.
Looking at Tom, where he is.
I've only been practicing for like 10 minutes.
It was good to catch up at Perth with Mark. Not seen him for two, maybe 3 years. So it was good to catch up. Good to see you, Mark.
Craft Station's there saying good morning. Morning, Lisa.
Behave yourself. Stand by your beds.
Yeah, I can't be in trouble now. And we got Dave saying good morning, fellow modelers of the world.
Good morning, Dave.
Morning, Dave, indeed. I'm just going to try and mute that if I can. Bear with me a second while I do a bit of admin in the background because I don't want to get caught out. Let's just do that. And that's done. Right, cool. No more binging, hopefully. So that's everyone in the chat. I may have caught people out a little bit because obviously I haven't advertised it that much. It was a quick post to say that it was going to happen. And if you did miss the intro is not as long as it normally is. So the idea being is I took a little bit of comments from a couple of people. Didn't take it to heart as such, but thought I'd try a different way. So if you missed the beginning, tough. And if you're expecting a 5-minute countdown, tough.
Roger Wilco.
So if you're here late, tough. Anyway, so actually, do you know what I'm going to do just for a bit of fun? There's a few people watching. I would like some feedback. Tell me what you think of this new intros.
Operations room, are you receiving?
Operations room here. Receiving loud and clear, over.
Operations room, you're clear to go. Go, go, go.
Operations room here. Roger Wilco. All understood. Okay, chaps. Get your sprue out and get your clippers at the ready. Okay, Johnny. Let's go. Tally-ho, tally-ho.
There you go. That's the
I don't know about anybody else, but that's brilliant.
It was a bit of fun.
Yeah.
It was quite interesting getting the voice artists to do what I wanted them to do, and and all that. So yeah, it was good fun. So that might not be the last edition, but we'll see. We'll see. Tell me what you think in the chat. Anyway, what are you up to talking about the chat? Why don't you tell us what you're up to today, what your plans are for the bench? So Model Making Trucker says, I like it. Lisa says, awesome. I'm not sure if that's about me or the intro, but I'll take it both ways.
That's about me.
Mark says he'll be at the Dundee the Dundee show.
Dundee. You were right first time. Dundee.
Dominic says, nicely put together. Oh, thank you very much. And Lisa's saying, I'm planning on tidying up the bench. There we go. So let's have a quick look at me. What's been going on here? So as you can see, we've got both halves of the aircraft together. Well, not together, but there, cut out. We have the instrument panel wired up that you're all well aware of anyway. So that's that there. We're going to be playing with this half during today. We're going to add some wiring in, etc., into this bit, which will be fun. We'll go over that a little bit more in a second. So, as you can possibly see, if I zoom in, there we go. So, we have already added the wiring in, or some wiring into this section. I've got a little bit more to do on this side, but I need to have a closer inspection on the pictures that I'm using for reference, because there's quite a few wires to go in. And what I plan to do is I plan to test fit, if you like, the instrument panel, which goes in here, in this bit here, because I need to cut the wires to the correct length, and then I've got to play with them to get them right. So that's that bit. Obviously, you're also aware of, he says, where's that gone? There it is. We had a 3D rendering of the tank that's in this section after the firewall, which will go in like so, or roughly. So that'll go in there like that. That's all quite cool. And then the exciting part that we've been working on, and one of the reasons why we didn't do, we took a little bit of break, is obviously my personal circumstances, but also a very kind person called Dan has been doing the rendering for me on 3D prints.
Man.
Oh, he is the man. He's amazing. So he's rendered this part. So this is the rear of the engine, which obviously doesn't come in the kit. Done a fantastic job as well. He has. So yeah, that is going to be sat like that. Unfortunately, the lighting is problematic today. As you can see, it'll be like that. I don't know why it's so shadowy. I must have moved something without realizing. So yeah, so that's that. But the bit that I'll be doing today, or one of the things I'll be doing today, is if you remember the reference picture I was using, which is this one here. So this is what we are working on, this section in here. And we're going to have to put some of these bars in here and there, and some pipe work, etc. Now, something that I hadn't taken into account, which would be pretty stupid to be, which is not in this picture, is obviously the engine is air cooled. So there's a lot of pipe work that goes on this wall, this bulkhead here. Now, I was going to do it, but then I thought, you know what? Actually, I'm not going to go too mad. He says, after doing all of this, because once you put the engine bit in, all the other bits, there's a lot to see, but you won't be able to see it per se. So I'm probably going to miss it out, or I may end up putting something in to resemble it, but not really, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so the reason I'm waffling is because this bit here, is one of the bars, the top bar. So again, going back to the reference picture, this bit here is that.
Quite a bit smaller.
A little bit smaller, yes. But what we've done, if I zoom in a little bit more, I can take that out of the background. That will help focus. So as you can see, that's the bar. And what I've done is I've just twisted a little bit of flattened wire around, which is going to hold my wire along the bottom. Oh, sorry, the bottom bar there. And then on the top bar here, we've got 5 bits of pipe work, I think, that needs to go onto that, which we're going to use a bit of wire to do that. So I'm going to do that today. And what I'm going to do is I'll show you how we got to that part.
Yeah.
And then we'll add the wire on as well. So that goes, he says,
nice and easily.
Nice and easily.
Just there.
Just about there. And then falls through the hole.
Of course it does.
Of course
it does.
So that will go like that, basically. So that's what you'll be able to see. Okay.
Nice.
Now, obviously, there are some pictures that I think I put up on the list, but if not, I'll make sure they go up today. of this section actually taped to it
Mhm.
to give you the idea of exactly how it looks. But actually, there's not a lot of room in there to fiddle around with as such. Yeah, we'll get around that one way or another. So yeah, so at the end of the day, what we're going to end up with is a panel here that you can see the gubbins, but we've repeated that on the other side as well. So the other thing in which I'm going to do today as well is I'm going to show you how I achieved this bit here.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things which I'm going to do. Obviously, this hole at the top here will give us a little bit of an inspection light behind the control panel. And I'm considering, I'm not sure I'm going to do it, but I'm considering what I'd like to try and do is have an engineer working on it, a light. So I may, create a way in which the back is lit up so you can actually see the wiring.
Yeah.
Maybe. You'd have to have very good eyesight. But anyway, I'm thinking about it. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to achieve it. So, yeah. So that's something to come. So there you go. That's where we're up to on this part. We have our cockpit, all the main bits put on. There is a little bit more detail to add, or I'd like to add a bit more wiring, etc., which I'm going to do during the week, and then obviously the seat, which is this here in two parts.
I just love it when that happens.
The seat has a lot of PE that goes on it, and we'll do that. So that bit's done. We have the parts of the radio bits done. These are all kit parts. There's another bit to go on there, but again, it's a little bit like the control panels. It's see-through plastic. It's got a great big gate on the back. So I've got to take off and sand and God knows what. So that's got to be done. And then we've got the other two components of the rear section as well. So we have monstered on quite a lot. But hopefully we're in a position where that will start to pull together a little bit more.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the idea.
So 11, really good.
11 people watching. Thank you. Let's just quickly catch up what everyone's doing. Lewis says I'm doing some painting on the 1/350th turd pits for camouflage scheme that I've chosen. Gary Marsh is there saying, good morning, James. My plans today are to research using cardstock for dioramas.
Nice.
A follow on from my M4H this morning. Indeed, Gary, if you want to look at that on the channel, on the Model Officers channel, there is a video of me doing some cardstock, and the lovely Carl actually has been challenged along with Luke, and we will be doing something together.
Yes,
all three of us, once we can sort our diaries out. Not a tutorial, it's just a case of we're going to get some cardstock, we're going to play with it for an hour, and try some different techniques, different things out on it.
Just to see what we can.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to what Luke can teach me. I got to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Dave's there is saying, at Model Trucker, my symbol is a sparkling. What's that word?
What's that? My
sparkling
gauntlet.
Gauntlet. Sorry, my brain went dead. It's a trade symbol. My previous life in the RAF, telecoms engineer. That's in reference to a comment that was earlier that I didn't read out, which was saying that. There we go. Lewis was saying that he'd looked at the logo and thought it was a spider. Made him squeal like a girl.
Yeah.
But there you go. So Dave's going to rename him Model Trucker, aka Sparkly Spider. Yeah. We could make a t-shirt up of that. That'd be hilarious. A sparkly spider on a t-shirt for him. So yeah, make him squeal. Steve's there. Hi, Steve. How you doing, buddy?
Morning, Steve.
Yeah, so those of you that watch us on the crash, we didn't do a crash last night. We're sorry for that. Obviously, Carl was coming back from his hollybobs. I was working and shipping people backwards and forwards to work, etc. And Steve had a technical issue as well. So, yeah, all of us got done in one way or another.
Indeed, yes.
Dominic's saying, how's the walnut challenge going? Oh, do you know what?
Oh.
For me, I've not started it at all because I've been busy with this. But I've got my nuts. My nuts are on the desk.
I've tried splitting some of my nuts, but they are not splitting well at the moment.
Oh, no. Have you got a razor saw?
No. Got a Dremel.
Oh, yeah, get a fitting on the Dremel.
Equivalent.
Yeah. Get a fitting on the Dremel and just cut them.
Yeah.
You might want to wait to tidy up your desk until you've done that, because that will So yeah, there you go. Yeah, I got a few ideas. I've been waiting, actually, funny enough, for fittings for my Dremel. Because some of the nuts I've done haven't split quite well, but one of the ideas I've got is I don't actually want to split the whole nut itself. So yeah, right. Okay, so where should we start? Let us yes, let's do that bit first. So what we're going to do, now, you guys watching, you are the audience, obviously. Tell me what you think about the music. If it's too loud, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I am going to have it on the background because it keeps me a little bit calmer. And I think it's quite nice anyway. But yeah, it's not going to be anything too heavy. But tell me what you think. It doesn't need to be turned down, blah, blah, blah. That's all helpful stuff. We do listen. Not always, but we do listen. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to fiddle around with our opening here and get some work done on that. What we're going to use is a little bit of this. Now, this is just some brass shim, they call it. It's just very thin brass.
God, I've not used that stuff for years.
Yeah.
I worked on the railway. God, blimey, that's a long time ago.
So you're going to use a little bit of that, and we're going to use my very trusted, cheap little tool to make our rivets, etc. If you want to know what the one I'm using is, not that it's really that important because there's loads out there, but this is the one that I've got. It's from Trumpeter. It's a rivet maker.
Oh, goodness.
Comes with several wheels. But yeah, it'll do what I want it to do.
That was one thing that was missing at Perth show.
Yeah.
Tool, people selling tools. Plenty of folks selling models. There were a couple of folks selling tools, but it was the choice was very, very limited.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this bit off. Actually, no, I won't. I'll just use the other end. Right, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a ruler. I'm going to gauge the thickness of the strip that I want. And I'm just literally going to get my riveter. He says. And I'm going to roll it along the edge of the ruler. Yeah, why did he go all the way? That's a bit odd.
Dominic is just saying he sawed one nut. It went well in one time. There you go. And Dave is just letting us know that the music is quietly tinkling in the background and it's quite soothing. So good.
Jolly good. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, hopefully, if I do this. Okay. So you can just about make that out. Not great. Yeah. Zoom in. So as you can see, the rivets are right on the edge. which is just what we want because I want a nice thin strip. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with a number 26 scalpel.
Why
Am I
26?
efficient? No, it's not that I'm efficient. It's just that I happened to take it out of the packet yesterday, so I know it's number 26. Very quick and easy way to blunt your blade.
Indeed, yeah.
And there we go. That's all I need, just that little tiny strip. Like so.
Nice.
I'm not
so simple.
I'm not super happy with it because I have actually gone over it twice, so I'm going to do it again. But it is really that simple. Now, what I had done before is I'd use very, very, very fine plastic, which my aim was to try and drill through. Now, trying to use a micro drill on that,
yeah,
I broke 3. So then I decided what I would do is I would basically do a paint effect, i.e. a little dark spot to show where the rivet holes would be. Now, obviously, they are rivet holes. They're not rivets as such. So, yeah, it's a bit of
the illusion of a rivet.
An illusion, yes. So, like I say, it's just going to line up for another run on this. Okay, that feels a little bit better. Again, not perfect, but now the interesting part about this kit, Carl is aware of this. We have been talking. He's been away. We've probably spoken more this week than we've spoken for quite a while. But yeah, sorry about that, Lisa. I'm on holiday. Why did you keep messaging me? So there you go. That's, like I say, that's the bit that we've done. Nice, simple effect. Now, obviously, you've got the riveted side, so the bit that sticks out, and you've got the indentation side. The indentation side is the bit we want to be facing out, because what we're going to do is when we do the painting, we'll paint that and we'll put some wash into the holes, which will give us the effect, the illusion of them being holes, not rivets. Yeah, that's the idea anyway. What was I saying? I went off on a tangent. Yeah, so basically this is all cut out, all sanded, and then all we're literally going to do is, he says, if I can get it in shot, is we're just going to glue. Let me move that because I'm going to break that. Yeah, so all we're going to do is we're just going to bend this, make sure we've got the right way. We're going to bend this around our finger a little bit to give us a little bit of a curve, which will help us. And we come to attach it, and all we're going to do is literally just glue it into place like that and work along as we go.
Looking good. So, Steve's just asking, was Squires not there this year, Carl? I didn't see them, so no, they weren't there. And Steve's just saying hi to Lisa. That's us caught up for chat.
Way to go. Okay. I just remember where I went off on a tangent. I just remember what I was saying. So, with this kit, as Carl will know, when I cut this out, this bit, I was astounded to see how thick the actual plastic was. So I'm hoping that comes out well, but you can see it's really super thick.
So
obviously,
shied on the plastic like.
No. Now, obviously, I can't use that as a panel because the plan is to have the panels sat near the aircraft. So I'm going to have to scratch build my own panels, which is a bit of an ache of description, but that'll be fun to do. Be something different, won't it?
You could always use your brass that you use in there.
Well, that's the plan. I've got slightly different thicknesses here and there, and the plan is to do exactly that. I'm going to
because you can shape it around the bit you've cut out, and then reinforce it with some plastic card or something.
No, I've actually got a thickness that I think will work.
Hold itself.
Nice. So the plan is to fashion one out. The slight issue for me will be the riveting detail, etc. That'll be quite interesting to do.
Yeah.
Not something I've done before. So
tweezers.
Thank you.
On camera.
Oh.
There we go.
Thank you.
It's a good job I'm here, folks. It's a good job I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
While you're concentrating on that, I'm going to just catch up with chat quick. A few comments. So, Mark at Edinburgh Modelling Man Cave said, I'm working on the AFV Club 135th Scimitar. A rather average kit with some awkward and very large sprue gates. I got to build that kit for my old man because that's one of the vehicles he served on. So yeah, doesn't sound too promising. It looks a nice kit. Nothing worse.
This is why.
Is your tongue sticking out, James?
And
Joe is saying for panels you could get thin aluminium roasting pans.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shape easy enough and thin enough to cut easy as well. That's actually a good
shout.
A good shout, yeah. That's what similar sort of thing that Steph used to make his rose, wasn't it? Remember that?
Yeah.
He used the tops off the coffee pots, the way you peel it back. It's quite thick. Similar sort of thing, yeah. Good shout, Joe.
Yeah, I'm going to move my camera slightly, I think.
Yes. You are wandering off camera a little bit.
Yeah, it's because my end.
Sorry?
I'm having trouble controlling the end.
Right.
So there you go. That's the first bit in. Dead simple.
He says.
Yeah. Thinking, don't fall out now, please. Now I said that.
So take it, all you've done there is you put a bit of extra thin on.
No.
And then no, what glue have you used? Super glue.
No, sorry. Good point. So all I've used some super glue.
Right. See, I'd have been tempted to use some extra thin to soften the plastic and then push that into it.
That probably would be a really good move. But no, I've used super glue, and then what I've done.
Tab of super glue.
I haven't got a proper. Well, I say proper. The super glue I'm using is Gorilla super glue.
Yes.
Now, the reason I said proper is because you can get super glue that has different drying times. And something with a quick drying time would actually be, to some respect, would be useful. because you wouldn't have to do what I'm doing right now, where you're fiddling around with it and trying to make sure you don't lose where you want it
Yeah, it's
while it's gluing.
a bit of a
Now,
double-edged sword, that though, isn't it?
it is, but obviously, if you've got 5 seconds to place it, it can become a bit problematic. So you can get different, as I say, different varying times. I would go for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, something like that. You should be able to deal with it reasonably well. But what I've also done here is I've then run a little bit of super glue behind. Yeah, oh, sorry, it's off camera again. I've actually run some super glue down the back here.
Yeah.
So it's got a little bit of a lip on it. So once that dries, that will be pretty solid. But the reason I'm using that product is because that's all I've got at hand. So no other reason. The downside to super glue for me is I've got a drawer over there with about 4 bottles. And unfortunately, the actual application gets all clogged up.
Yes.
And the bottles then none void. I've got a couple that have actually gone off in the bottle because of it.
Same here. So I've just gone back to using cheap super glue.
Yeah. So that I'm the same. That's exactly why I've done it. They're not super expensive, but they're not cheap either. And
No.
I don't want to buy something that goes off without me using it, and I don't use that much super glue. So
no. I'm the same.
So yeah.
So little tip from thank you. Oh, coffee has arrived. Thank you, my dear.
Ooh, thank you.
So Joe, another little tip from Joe. So when you're using super glue, get yourself a sewing needle, cut off the pointy end, as well as part of the eye. It will grab a drop and allow it to flow into where you need it. I've seen very expensive modeling equivalents that do the same. I believe you've got one, James.
I have actually got one somewhere.
Yeah. So if you can't afford that bit of kit, then that works very, very well. What Joe said there.
It's funny, isn't it? I've got the right tools.
Yeah.
But I choose not to use them.
Yes. Yeah. And a question for yourself, James.
Oh, yeah.
From Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Gary's joined us. Hi, Gary. What's the best thickness of cardstock for buildings / structures in dioramas? Now then.
The best thickness?
Oh. Yes.
Right, okay. So, now, it's a really good question, and I don't know off the top of my head. However, something to bear in mind, and I said this on the Models for Heroes show today, is that you can buy it in different thicknesses, and I would encourage you to buy different thicknesses. It's not a lot of money, might take up a little bit of room, but you know, it's equivalent of having four big books, so it's not that much room. The reason you do that is because you use the thicker one as your base, and then you can use the thinner grades to add your detail. So, for example, if you want to put a window frame in that's got stone around it, you can use the thick as the base, cut the hole out, and then use the thinner type to go around the window to give you that whatever you call it, that look. So they come in lots of different sizes. Bear with me a second, I might be able to tell you actually.
Cool. While you're getting that, Dave is saying he has 3 figures on the bench: a Naval Brigade guy in 75mm from Hawk Miniatures, and from Medieval Forge Miniatures, a Greek hoplite and a CE-16 Samurai.
Wow.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Make sure you share some images on the Model Officers Mess. Be nice to see. And Steve is asking Lisa, where's his? Steve wants to know where his brew is.
Right, so I just measured my thickest card that I have, and it's 1.75 is the thickness. Yeah. However, I'm fairly certain that if you look it up on eBay or something like that, it'll come up as grams. I'm not sure it gives you thickness. So a little bit of research. But if you look on eBay, there are people selling it. don't necessarily buy it in eBay, but have a shop around. It's not super expensive, but you can save a few pennies by having a good look around.
Yes.
And then the one thing I would say with the cardstock is planning. Do a bit of planning with it, so you have an idea of where you want to go with it from the beginning, and then you can, if you've drawn it out or you're using an image, you can figure out the different depths, different depths of things, like for example wind frames and all that sort of stuff. And then you can apply that to how you're going to do that with the different thicknesses. So yeah, it does need a little bit of research, a little bit of planning.
There you go.
Yeah, hope that helps. If you have any trouble, just send me a personal message, and if I can find the information, I will send it to you. It's not a problem.
There you go. There you go. Steve is saying that his local nurse gave him some out-of-date needles, which he uses for gluing his PE.
Yeah.
And Lisa's saying, LOL, Steve, would be cold by the time it got to you and not a lot left in the mug. And Lewis from Model Making Trucker fame is saying, I use a sewing needle, but I put mine in a pin vise as well.
Yeah.
Steve's laughing at Lisa. You're in trouble now. And Dominic is saying, Flexi 5K CA glue extra thin also works well with PE. Dries quickly, but sometimes it is useful. And Gary is just saying, brilliant, James. Thank you very much.
That's all right. Like I say, give me a message if you struggle. I'm not sure I've still got the link, but I can certainly find it. It won't take me 30 seconds. Well, it will take me more than 30 seconds, but you know what I mean.
So, there we go. All caught up with chat.
Wonderful.
So, I see you're using half the machine.
What, in front of you?
Yeah.
This? Yeah, this is a display super glue adapter. So basically all it is, they're quite expensive, I've got to be honest. But one thing I like about them is that the super glue doesn't go off on the little metal pig very quickly. So it gives you a little bit of time to play with what you're applying.
Yes.
Now this will make you laugh. The reason I'm using a toothpick instead of the metal things that come with it is because I don't want to have to replace them.
Yes. Yes,
so
I can understand that.
There's no logic to that statement at all. Because if I don't use them, I won't replace them. And I won't have to pay the money to replace them if I don't use them. So, a bit daft.
Makes perfect sense.
Yes. It's James sense, that is.
Yes.
Although, if I'm honest, I should imagine you can clean them up relatively easily.
Yeah. So there's a question for folk in chat. Do any of you out there own a piece of kit that you find yourself not using but using an alternative? I'm trying to think what I do that I use, because I know there's a few things. I've got a bit of kit for doing it, but I don't use it.
And why don't you use it? Is it a similar reason as what I've just given? Because you're scared that you might have to replace it and it costs too much money.
Yeah.
Or was it one of those? I'm going to buy it because it looks really cool, and I'm a bit like me, I suppose. I'm a bit of the phrase is tool whore, isn't it?
Yes.
I do like a tool.
No comment.
No, leave it. So maybe that's the reason. I mean, we're all guilty of it. We all do it.
We are, yeah.
I'll be honest. Very few tools that I don't use.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tools that I've bought and gone, oh, that's perfect. It does exactly what I wanted to do. I've used it once and put it back in the drawer, and I've never used it again. That's not because I've got other methods. It's just purely because I bought it for a particular reason, and that was it.
Yes.
It's a little bit like, funny enough, it's a little bit like the die punch sets. I really want to
Yeah.
get one of those, but I know I'm only going to use it a few times and it go back in the drawer and I'll forget it's there.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's, as you can see, that's what the result is. It's not too bad.
Looking good. Really good.
Now, one thing in which you'll notice, where is my other example? So on this particular one here, now as you can see, we have what we've been doing now, up 3 sides. However, here in this top corner, just above the tank, what I've had to do is that's a bracket for the crash bar, let's call it, for want of a better phrase.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had to cut a little bit of the PE, or the little bit of the metal that I've made out to put the bar in. And the theory was, because there will be some more being cut off at some point, but the theory was if I put it all in, I can always take something out rather than trying to add it in later would be a bit of a nightmare. So
yes.
So that's that. And then the other side of the coin is this. This is, if you remember our reference picture, this bit here, which is a solid rectangle bar. We've made that out of steroid, like so. So obviously that goes across the bottom there. So we don't need to put this detail on the bottom. So it's only 3 sides we need to do. And I've just realised that I've done exactly the wrong thing. Look. What did I just say? Don't need to put it on the bottom, James. Idiot. And that's going to be a pain. No, it's not. There we go. Mistake number 1.
Yeah, just while you're doing that, Joe McCaslin is saying, I have cutters and such that I bought specifically for scratch building that I don't use, simply because when I'm working, I don't think to grab them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bought a pair of pliers that have got no teeth or anything, so they're flat for bending PE and stuff. And I think most people know my thoughts on PE, so they just sit looking pretty and never get used.
Yeah.
And we've been joined by the 3D modeling guru himself, Dan, the Koano man.
Oh.
Evening, Dan. Evening.
Morning.
It is still morning, just. Morning, Dan.
Yeah, the man himself. The man that has had sleepless nights due to me.
The man.
Sorry about that, Dan. He's loved every minute of it.
Yeah, and Lewis loves PE, apparently.
Yeah, he's sick.
Weird person.
He's a sick.
And Lisa's saying hi to Dan.
Now, the funny part is the bit that I'm remembering now to put in, I actually had that on my desk before we went live to remind me that was the starting point. That went well. So yeah, Koano Man, or Dan, is the person that's been doing the 3D rendering for me. He did, out of the kindness of his heart, spend a couple of hours with me teaching me how to do it myself. And it was very interesting. I enjoyed it. I am going to try and take some of the things in which he tried to teach me and learn from it. However, the fact that he ended up doing it all sort of shows you how much of that went in my head. It was just like, yeah, Dan, can you do that for me? That'd be lovely, thanks. And in all honesty, once you get the hang of it, it's not that hard.
Yes.
It really isn't. But just try and get your head around it. Yeah, Bryant. Oh, don't do this to me. We're live. You know we're live.
It's doing it on purpose.
I know.
Yeah. So Dan is just saying, happy to help you, James.
And I'm happy you did help me. That's a fact.
Dan saying hello to Lisa. Totally Scale Mod saying P is the way forward. Some people really are delusional.
Yeah, sad person.
And Steve saying morning to Dan and to Lewis. And Dan is saying hi to Steve. And there we go. Caught up with chat again.
Now, see, it's funny that my progression, if you like, on scratch building. I mean, this is my first scratch building effort on planes. I've never done it before. However, I do like scratch building diorama stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from chairs, wardrobes, God knows what else. So, obviously, in that field, if you like, I would use balsa wood. So, for me, using plastic is a big change. I've not really used an awful lot of it, so I don't really understand it. And metal, I can honestly tell you, this is the first time I've used it.
Yes.
I've had it in my stash with a plan to do stuff. Actually, to make my own photo etch was what I bought it for. Of some bits and pieces. But never had the courage to do it. It's a fairly simple process. Bit careful with how you do it. Fairly simple. But not done it yet.
It's always simple when you're looking at it.
It's always simple when you watch someone else's YouTube channel and go, oh, wow, that's really easy.
Look at that. That's dead simple.
Yeah. Why do I buy it when I can make it? Oh, that's right.
That's dead easy. Not.
Stay tuned. We will do that. I will do the 3D. I mean, not 3D. The photo etch at some point, and I'll show you how easy it is. But don't expect it anytime soon.
Not today.
No, definitely not today, and probably definitely not next week. Unless I come off tonight, off this afternoon, and go, oh, do you know what would be really good? Oh, yeah, rat bag.
You dirty rat.
You and me are going to have words. So, yeah, another oh, I did have it the right way around, Wally. Another tool in my arsenal that I don't use is my 3D blender. It's 3D. My PE bender. I'm the same. I've got one in the drawer there.
Yeah.
I think I've used it. I have used it, but I haven't used it as much as I should. And I'm really struggling with it, so bear with me a second. Do it live, he said. What could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? like that.
Yeah, it's all about getting the equipment in the right place,
Indeed.
as they say. Or I'll just knock that down because that doesn't need to be broken at all.
I love it when that happens.
Oh,
It's so refreshing.
Makes me feel so all warm inside.
Yes.
Generally, while the liquid is running down my leg.
Sorry?
Well, you know, you
I did ask.
you lose. Yeah, well, you did. You lose control of your bowels, don't you? At times, he's like, "Oh my god!"
Yes. What happened there? Oh yeah. Oh dear. Catching up with chat. So morning, Stephen Dan from Lewis. And Joe McCaslin, he says, I use little to no PE. Yes, I'm the same, Joe. If I can get away without using it, I won't use it. So if there's a choice in the kit of a PE part or a plastic part, I will always use the plastic part. Always. And Dan is saying hi to Lewis. Joe says, James, a thought. You may be able to either buy a resin set or maybe a 3D printed set for the exhaust and air intake for the engine.
Yes, you can. You can buy other bits for this particular model. I've chosen to only go with one extra on this kit. Bear with me a second.
It's okay. And talking to Joe, but Joe, you buy a kit, look at it, throw it out, and scratch build it and make it fly. You're like a scratch building god.
This is true.
Yes. And Joe is just saying, Lewis, you're very kind, but there are others that are so much better than I am. Well, there's always somebody better, no matter what you're doing. There's always somebody that comes along and, oh yeah, but look, and you're like, ugh. You can only do what you can do. Do your best, and hopefully just improve yourself over time. And that's it. That's what you've got to do.
But I do agree with that comment. You are a scratch build god.
Yes.
I don't care what you're saying. So yeah, what was the question? I've forgotten now what we were talking about.
Joe was on about you could buy a resin kit or maybe a 3D printed set for the exhaust. Yeah,
that's right. Yes, you can. But I've chosen to only go with one extra to this kit. And that is because I want to throw it over there. Because I'm going to do the folded wings on it. But I think there's about 4 other additional bits you can get for this particular kit from Infinity Models. But I chose not to. Trying to keep the cost down, partly, but also because, if I'm honest, I knew this is what I was going to do, and I thought if I muck it up and don't like it and want to throw it away, which I probably won't, but if I did, I didn't want to have a load of extras that I bought that would be increase the cost of what I was throwing away. So that's why I made that choice. But yes, there are several bits. So there you go. That's the second bit in on this side. We've got our box junction on there as well. So we've just got one more side to do. And of course, we've used everything we had. So I'm going to have to use... I'm going to have to make some more. That's okay. So again, a little bit of the brass chin. Roughly there, I think. A riveter. So it's a little bit like the riveter. You can get rosy riveters, which are really, really, really nice, and they work really well. You can see what you're doing. This is a cheaper version, much cheaper version, and
Okay.
I totally get why people rave on about the rosy riveters, because once you put that on something, you can't see what you're doing at all.
No.
Whereas the rosy riveters are literally a metal
wheel with teeth on, isn't it?
With a metal bit where you put the wheel with teeth on, so it's the same thickness as the teeth. So yeah, much easier.
Is it metal teeth on that one you've got there?
It is, yeah. They're metal discs. Come in 5. Yeah, it's 5 different types, so you can get 5 different effects. All rivets, obviously. But...
Oh, just a quick one. Mark is saying he needs to shoot. He's got lots to do today. We'll catch up later on Rewatch. Take care. Cheers, Mark. Thanks for coming along.
Cheers, Mark. Have a great day, won't you, mate? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. And Joe is just saying that I only scratch build because I don't have the money for all the really cool looking aftermarket stuff. Yes, I know that feeling. Yeah.
That's exactly how I got into doing the diorama stuff. Was because I couldn't justify spending that sort of money.
No, same here.
Same
here. And Joe's saying, James, you could scrap build them.
Don't go giving me ideas, Joe.
And Dan is saying, if there's someone more better at being freaky than me, I want them to be tested for drugs and locked up in Arkham Asylum. Is that in the cell next to you, Dan, or a few down?
And talking of scratch building, as my chief rendering operator is watching.
What do you need?
I was just thinking about those exhaust things. I could make them myself. I could just hand it over to Dan and say, Dan, your next project is your next mission if you choose to accept.
Yes.
No, I don't want to do that.
And Dave is hitting home with something here, with a comment that was made earlier on about forgetting to pick that tool up that you've got for a specific thing.
Yeah.
He says all tools come with a learning curve.
Yeah.
If we spent the time and learned how to perform a task to achieve a goal, which has taken a number of years to perfect, going along to a new tool and learning to use that tool can seem a bit of a faff.
Yeah.
That's very true, because even though that tool may make it easier, because you've learned how to do it the hard way, it no longer is a hard way. So you just have a tendency to go back to that.
Yeah, you tend to do what you... Yeah, you tend to use what you know, don't you? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And if you've got used to doing things a certain way, say learning that new text, it's a little bit like paints, isn't it? Paints is a great example.
Yes.
You know, we all have our paint that we use.
Yeah.
And some of us get on with a particular brand and some of us don't. And I've always said, you know, the reason I got Model Air, and that is the paint I use, is because I happened to have a shop near me that closed down and they had Model Air. I wanted to try something, so I bought some, a reasonable amount of it. And it took me a little while, but I got to learn how to use it and how it works. And now I wouldn't, generally speaking, use any other paint because that's what I'm used to. Yeah,
I'm the same with Tamiya. My go-to paint is Tamiya because it's what was in the local hobbycraft, and I just got used to using it.
Yeah.
I do have some Model Air. Model Color. I don't have Model Air. I have Model Color. And I rarely use it. It's not. I just don't go for the ball.
Yeah. And that's it, isn't it? It becomes
Yeah, you look at the Tamiya, you go, I know how to use that, and then I look at the Model Color and think, well, that's the perfect color, but that Tamiya one's close enough, and I know how to use that.
Yeah, but it's more than that. You literally reflex reaction.
Yes.
Your hand
you
goes
find
out
yourself
for
reaching
paint.
for it without even thinking about it.
Yeah, your hand goes out for that paint, and it doesn't go anywhere near that bottle. It goes straight to the Tamiya because that's what you're used to.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Dan is saying, I don't mind bunking up, Carl. Yeah, I'd top and tail with you anytime, Dan. And Dan is saying he just uses emulsion, which I know isn't true because I've seen him painting his nails with that that other stuff. So I know he uses other stuff than just emulsion, especially for his nails. That is us caught up with chat again. So I have now finished my tank. That's all the repairs are complete. So happy with that. I go back on the shelf. So it's probably actually a little bit more sturdier than it was before. So all that track is complete and back on. So happy with that. So,
and which tank is that, Carl?
This is the, I can't remember if it's Conqueror or Centurion. I think it's a Conqueror. Conqueror Mark 1 from Amusing Hobbies. So I bought these kits when Amusing Hobbies was still pretty well unknown, so they were quite cheap. At Perth, a couple of weekends ago, I saw one of the stalls had about quite a lot of new Amusing Hobby stuff. Even a couple with full interiors, which I've never seen before from Amusing Hobbies, but they're getting quite expensive.
Yeah.
So they are becoming popular, and the prices are starting to shoot up. I'm talking £60-70 for an Amusing Hobbies kit, where I paid probably £30 for this kit. Actually, no, I didn't pay £30 for this kit because this one was from Paul over at ISM was selling this kit. So I actually bought this kit from Paul, Amusing Hobbies. But I do have several Amusing Hobby kits in the cupboard, some German stuff, and yeah, they were around the £30 mark. So yeah, they are going up in price, but they are very, very nice kit. Nothing overly complicated, plenty of detail, plenty of sharp detail, but nothing, not massive kit counts or anything like that. So well worth getting yourself one just to see what they're like. And the tracks are awesome.
Yeah, I've only built one. Which was a plane, and it went together really well. Can't moan about it. Well, I can, but not for that reason.
Yeah. Luce is just confirming there that Dan does indeed use Gundam markers. Yeah, and he says Gundam markers are a paint though. Well, yeah.
Right, so
there we go. Dave has gone and changed his name. Name has been changed from Dave, although some would say a puckered spider is more appropriate. So now Dave is Spark. I think that may be Sparkling Spider.
Sparkling Spider. Nice.
Sparking Spider.
So there you go. That's the bits done for this particular opening. He says,
nice.
Showing it to the camera.
Quite quick as well.
Yeah, don't take too long to do. So that bit's done. What I will show you next is, oh yeah, I know what I was to show you. Okay, so planned out. Read the script, James.
While you're looking, I'll very quickly catch up with a bit more chat. So Joe McCaskey say my main tools seem to always be an X-Acto. I have about 12 with different blade types, a ruler, toothpicks, aluminium foil for glue and paint, pencil, marker, and sandpaper. Yeah, I'd say quite a lot of there. I use very similar sort of things. Don't have 12 X-Acto blades. I've got about 4, I think.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I need to get some more handles.
Yes, me too.
Because I've got 4. I've got 4. Something like that. Anyway, no, I got 5. I got 5 already. But obviously I've got different blade types. And this is in this build is the one time in which I've used the different blade types, but I got about 7 different types.
Yeah.
So I need to get some more handles, and I need to be a little bit more specific with my choices.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let you feel for 2 seconds. I'll be back one moment.
No worries. I will catch up with chat. So Dan is just saying to Dave, but which end is puckered? Sparkling spider. Dave's going to need to confirm whether it's supposed to be sparking or sparkling. And he's saying, I remember watching the concrete Duxford running over cars on display days. Nice. Nice. And Joe is saying, it's looking good, James. It is indeed. It's going to look nice when he gets some paint on it. And Sparking Spider is saying Quanaman, and he's laughing. So that is us caught up with chat. A few other things I bought while I was at Perth. I've got some of this to try. I don't know if anybody in the chat has ever used this stuff. I'm pretty sure they have. I got myself some Mr. Hobby primers to try out. Never used them before. Apparently you thin them. Because I think it was Mark at Edinburgh Modelling Man Cave came over with some and said, oh, I got myself some of this. And it's like, that's a pot of primer. There's not a huge amount in there. It's not going to go very far. But apparently, yeah, you do thin it quite a lot. Have you used this stuff, James?
No, I've never used it.
No?
No.
So I got some of the 1000. It's not the finest stuff, but for what I'm primarily going to be using it for, it's going to be perfectly fine. So I got some of that. And I bought myself half a dozen paint brushes as well. Some of these ones. Not overly expensive. £7.50 for all those brushes. I don't need them to last forever. Not for what I do with paintbrushes anyway.
No.
If I ever get into figure painting seriously, which is not likely because time and practice. And that's it. I bought myself a pair of sewing scissors for cutting decals and stuff, rather than buying a set of the Tamiya really, really expensive ones. When I was down in Stoke, we went to the local market. There's a little sewing shop. And I thought, oh, I'll see what small little scissors they've got. And these were like £1.50. And they are really, really sharp. Obviously, they're used for material and cotton and things like that. So we'll see what they're like, see if they're any good. A little bit cheaper than what it is that Tamiya charge for a pair of decal scissors. So we've got those to have a whirl at. That's pretty much it.
Cool.
Oh, and we went to Costa, so the obligatory stale of half a dozen coffee stirrers to go into the box with all the others, which are up here.
Just half a dozen?
Yeah, just a few, because my box is quite full.
Oh, okay.
So
we're going to go back to this piece here. Now, if you remember, this is the, what I'm going to call crash bars. I don't know if that's the real technical term for them, but that's what we're going to call them. And I'm just going to show you how I made this particular angle, very, very simple, and how we achieved the little strap there for the wires that we're going to add at some point. So this is, he says, reaching for the pack. This is a little bit of aluminium round tube. The measurements of it is 2.38 mil by 0.353 mil. And all we're going to do is we're just going to get a little bit of nose pliers.
Oh, nose
already
pliers.
Marked out the line roughly where I want it. Now, I'm not too worried whether it ends up being longer than the last one, but all I'm going to do is literally just going to bend it like so. And then use my thumb, just bend it round. It's about what we want of our angle, which, as you can tell by this one, there's a little bit extra length. But I want extra length. That's exactly what I want, because it gives me the ability to cut down.
Yeah.
To make sure it's right. So that's perfect. Now, you can use some pliers to cut through this. However, I discovered you get a better finish with it. He says quickly. It's the only thing I don't like about this, using a camera. This camera is difficult to get a a quick response.
Yes.
Zooming in an outage. So we're going to cut this using my chopper. Got my chopper out.
Oh.
Bit of chopperage.
So David's just confirming it's defo sparking. So sparking spider. Lewis is saying, I use them, Carl.
Talking about the Mr. Surfacer.
Yes. Yeah, and Dominic is saying the primer is good. So I'm hoping so, yeah. And Joe's saying, sorry, it sounded like a know-it-all. Not intended. For what? I can't remember.
For what? You're a master, Joe, so you know more than you know all. So,
nothing wrong with knowing more.
That's absolute factual. So there you go.
Yeah.
So we've made our bar. Now we're going to put a strap on it. A strap on me bar. This is all going very unprofessional in puns. I don't mean to, honest. So
it does.
I do, yeah. So the way I've done it, I'm sure there's lots of ways. I've got some copper wire here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is 0.4 mil copper wire.
Right.
Which you can buy from Hobbycraft or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
And literally all I'm going to do is I'm just going to flatten it out a little bit. And then with my pliers, I'm going to put it in the front part here where it's flat. And literally just squeeze it.
Squeeze it flat.
Squeeze it flat. Move it along a little bit. Squeeze.
Squeeze.
Squeeze. Squeeze. And that gives me a nice, instead of round bit of copper, gives me a bit of flat.
Oh, nice little bit of flat. Can't go wrong with a nice bit of flat.
Oh, nothing wrong with a bit of flat. So that gives us a little bit of flat wire. And then using a little bit of tube. We just roll it around. Like so. Like so. And then with our pliers. Like so. And there you go. It's one little colour made. There you go. Nice and simple, nice and quick.
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
So I'm going to put that to one side because I don't need that right now. And I don't need this bit right now.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of prep done for the other side. But we're going to go back to what we originally did, this one here. And then what we're going to do is going to add our wire to it. So I'm going to use, this is jewelry wire.
Mm-hmm.
And this is 0.03 mil. Before I cut that, let me just remind myself. Yes, I did. I did pre-cut some already.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
Yes.
Oh, it's a bit of blue Peter.
Right, so yeah, I'm gonna just all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a little bit of
That's terrible, Lewis. Lewis is saying he'll be right back. He needs to find some strimmer wire so Nat can cut the grass.
one job. He's just got one job. That's
One job. Yeah.
A little bit of super glue. Now, my biggest fear with this is that when I come to paint it,
Yeah.
I'm going to get it all cloggy.
What do you mean cloggy?
Well, I'm going to spray paint over it, and the gap, because it's such a small gap, I'm going to lose the gap.
No.
Filled with paint.
No, not if you're airbrushing it.
I shouldn't do, but it is a part of the process of thinking. Oh, tweezers.
And if it does fill the gap, all you need to do is, while it's still wet, is gently blow it. So.
Well, yes.
Or just stop the paint and keep the air going.
I need to change my lens on this. I can't see the blinking glue. That's better. Tweezers.
Stay.
Oh, this isn't fighting me at all.
No. Dan is just saying, he could buy a sheep or a cow to eat the grass, Lewis. Lewis, don't go there.
I know exactly what he's going to say.
Yeah, don't go there, Lewis.
Don't do it, Lewis.
Don't do it. And Joe's saying, again, thank you, guys. You are very kind. Stating fact, Joe.
Yeah, facts. Facts is facts.
So, credit where credit is due, as they say.
The phrase "kicking my ass" comes to mind. It might be a... Well, you can see what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
In a minute.
We'll do that off camera.
Yeah, I'll just finish that off camera. Oh, you son of a... Show me, put the wire on, James.
Oh, did I tell you I put my walker into the competition?
Oh, yeah, how did that do? You never said nothing.
I didn't do anything.
Oh.
It was the stuff that was in that category was in a completely different league.
But were there any kind comments, any feedback?
No, I don't know. I didn't hang around. I put it on the table and ran away and hid.
Gotcha.
No, you could see that the kits that were on the table had been finished with some love and attention, and probably over a long period of time. Nothing else on the table, I would say, was finished within 36 hours.
Yeah,
like that was. So.
Well,
but I've now put something into a competition, so I've done it.
Yeah, you're officially a competitionary person.
I don't need to do it anymore. So.
No, that's not the...
And Joe is saying that, James, that is where I spend way too much time. I try to stretch all the little wires and hoses and end up spending hours trying to get them right. Yes.
Yes, Joe.
Yeah.
It is your fault. You're right.
Yeah. He's saying kind words here about you, Joe. Just wait till we go off air.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
There'll be some comments. Trust me. That Joe.
Yeah, that Joe. And Lewis went there.
He didn't.
He did.
I'll be honest, I'm not surprised, but
no, not at all.
But there are times where you think he's not gonna. He wouldn't. Yeah,
He wouldn't. But he did. So.
Right. So the good news is, so as you can see, hopefully, take that away, like so. You can see the wire on there just about.
Yeah. Perfect.
Gone on there quite well. Now, obviously, I'm going to leave that like that for now. I don't need it to be that long, but there is a reason in that I've got to attach it. I just suddenly thought, you idiot. I've got to attach it into here.
Uh-huh.
And I've got to feed that wire into the bulkhead.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, easy.
Yeah. So, and that bulkhead's glued in. So,
yeah.
Well done.
Give that plenty of time to dry.
Good planning there, James. One thing I can do though, looking at the picture, which is off camera, so I can bring that over. And then we'll bring that around. So I actually, thinking about it.
So Lewis is saying that Nat's got the extension lead out for the lawnmower. Trouble is, it's a petrol mower. Best thing is I went to unplug it to make her wonder why it's not working. Oh dear. And Joe's just confirming, James, unfortunately, there are no shortcuts for the wiring.
No.
So it is very, very time consuming. Indeed. Indeed, but worth it.
Yeah, it's going to add
Definitely
that bit of detail that isn't on another example, isn't it? So
yeah.
And that's part of the fun for me, is that I'm trying to do something a little bit different. And something that's not the norm. So yeah, look at the diagram. I've just discovered that I can actually get around that, what my problem I just said I had, quite easily. However, I've just realized another problem that I've got coming. So
I think that's going to happen a lot.
Yes. Well,
you're going to fix one problem, and that fixing that problem creates another.
The problem I'm going to have is that because I've stuck the bulkhead in, I've got to paint that remotely and then glue it in afterwards.
Yes.
So anyway, right, let's crack on. So the next bit's really, really easy in comparison to everything else. What do we use? Yeah, so we're going to use, and in this part, we're going to use again jewelry wire, wire that you use to make jewelry. But this is going to be a 0.02.
Yes.
Speech impediment. And the reason this is the easy bit, he says, I can't even get it out of the blinking.
Joe's saying he wouldn't do it any other way. He does say it takes the model to a higher level. Indeed, it does. Looks a little bit messy when it's not painted, but as soon as you get that first coat of primer, it's like scratch building sci-fi or anything like that. It looks a bloody mess when you're building it.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get that first coat of primer down, wow.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
And I think this is going to be part of my problem, is that one of the two things are going to happen here. I'm either going to go, oh, I love that, that's just amazing, or I'm going to hate it. But the problem is, if I like it, I can see me doing a lot more.
Yes. Yeah.
And then Joe's ears will be burning.
I think his ears will be on fire.
But on the other side of things, the good part is it gives me something else to challenge someone else with. So,
indeed, yes.
Carl.
No.
Right, there you go, folks. He said it live. I think he said yes. That's great.
Do, 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 do.
What's that? My mic gone out again. Oh, damn it. I hate it when that happens.
Yes, it's a pain, but hey. Oh.
So one more here.
So is this for the 4 wires across the top?
The 6.
Is it 6? Is it? I thought it was 4. Don't know why.
It might even be 5. I'm not sure. I'm going to double check it. But I've cut 6, and I'm just going to. This is the one thing, right? Now, people that make necklaces and earrings and all that sort of stuff, and they use this wire.
Yeah.
I wonder if they get into such a pickle like I have, where I've literally just done that cut and gone, right, now I'm going to put it away, and it unravels.
We'll need to ask Scott next time we see him.
Yeah, it completely unravels. There must be a way around it, because it's so annoying. Anyway, right, put that away for a second. So let's have a quick look at our reference picture.
Oh, you've been challenged.
Oh, no, I haven't.
So Joe is saying once the dust settles around here, he might challenge you to a dual build, James. Interesting.
So as you can see here,
He's gone. I'm not registering you said that.
These are the bits in which we're going to do. Just here. Okay.
He did hear you, Joe. If he didn't, I'll make sure he did.
And I have to tell you now that unfortunately, I think this build's going to take a very long time to complete, which is a bit of a shame, but you know. Yeah, Joe, don't worry. I heard you. At some point, I'm sure.
I think you should do a submarine.
I'm sure. Don't you start giving him ideas.
1/48 scale.
I am not scratch building parts for a submarine.
No, all you have to do is do a seabed, and all you have to model is the periscope.
Now, why didn't I see that coming?
I saw that at Telford in 2017. It was on one of the tables. And I only noticed it by chance because it was a tiny little thing on a table, and it was just like 1/72 submarine, highly detailed, and it was literally the periscope. And that was it. It was genius. There you go. And Lewis is saying that he challenged James once, but he won't build another paper model. And Joe's thinking 1/48. B17 comes to mind.
Now, Joe, unfortunately for you, that might be taken up. The reason being is I do have a 1/48 B17 with a plan.
There you go. Here's the man with a plan. And Dan is saying he thinks it should be a 1/700th scale pink tank.
And I apologise. I did ignore you, Lewis. But I'm going to rectify that right now. The problem with challenging someone, Lewis, is that you either have had to done it yourself or prepared to do it alongside. So you keep challenging me about a paper model, but I've done a paper model. And I don't think you have.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, to be really cruel and unkind, put your money where your mouth is.
Ooh.
And when I say paper model, I mean a proper paper model. Like the ones I sent you.
Oh.
For example, Lewis. Lewis has just suddenly gone out of the garden and said, "Love, do you want me to cut the grass?"
Yeah.
I'm not watching that James fella anymore.
Lewis is saying, "Big off, Dan." Joe's saying he's got about 500 pictures, nose to tail, wingtip to wingtip, plus a bunch of drawings and wiring diagrams, stroke manuals.
Oh,
Yikes.
dear, oh dear.
And Dan saying, "What's that, Lewis? You love his idea."
Oh, now I've stuck all the wire to my finger.
Start again.
I am.
Those two are stuck.
Yeah, those were the two that I didn't manage to rip off.
Oh dear. There's
Right.
an app for that.
Yeah, probably. So he's got what did Joe say? I was listening, honest.
Joe, he's saying that he's got about 500 pictures,
Mm-hmm.
nose to tail, wingtip to wingtip, plus a bunch of drawings and wiring diagrams, stroke manuals. That'll be for the B17.
B17, yeah.
Yes. So,
Well,
yeah.
I might take you up on it, Joe, because I have a B17 and I have the information I require to make a British version.
Oh. So the next question, I suppose, really to ask is, does Joe have a webcam and a mic?
Ooh.
Because then you could actually stream some.
Now that would be an idea.
Yeah.
Does it? Is
See
it
the
my imagination?
See the master in action.
Or did we accidentally just challenge him back in a different way?
We did.
Oh.
Yes. I don't have a B17, so I'm safe.
Well, you say that.
Ah, dear.
Right, now, I did say... that's why.
And James, Lewis is just saying that he will do that, James.
That paper model.
Yeah.
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 Well, he should do, because it was an easy one. I purposely sent you a nice easy one.
Yeah.
Because I know how keen you are to do them. And I don't mean a foldy up paper aeroplane either, by the way, Mr.
No.
Lewis. That doesn't count. So, believe it or not, we've been banging our gums for quite some time now.
Indeed, it is 20-1. So
Wow,
we've been
can
going
you
for
believe
quite a bit of time. So, yeah.
So, once I've got this last wire in place,
Mm-hmm.
we will bring the stream to an end in a second. Because my darling wife will require some attention.
Indeed.
In the garden.
And I think the challenge has just been accepted because Joe does have a webcam and a mic.
Oh, wow.
He also says he has the manuals for the C, D, F, and G models of the B17. Pictures of the interior of C, F, and G. See, I was thinking of doing the interior for the D, but there's no material out there, so...
You wait for our next comment.
Look at that. Would you look at that?
So, I'm not going to touch that anymore because it will fall off.
Yeah.
But there you go. That is the detail that we wanted.
Nice.
Hopefully you can. That's come out quite well on the
Yeah,
camera.
you can see that quite clearly.
So obviously it's not quite as straight as I want it, but once that glue's set, the plan is this. But this is the same 4mm flattened copper that we used to make the ring.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to bend that at the top and bend this bit over on top of the wires, so it becomes like a clamp.
Yes.
But yeah, there you go. That is that bit of detail done.
Nice. Very nice.
Sit there and dry.
Yeah. Do not touch it.
Yes.
That's one thing I'm bad for, is like leave it alone, and then 30 seconds later you've picked it up and you're tweaking it.
So there you go. So what did we manage to do? What we didn't manage to do is add the wiring in to the second half of the fuselage that we were going to do, but yeah, that's pretty simple. You just put a bit of glue, run the wire. It's not hard. So I don't think you need to watch that. That's fine. So my plan is, hopefully for the next week, I'm going to get a bit of time in here playing.
Yeah.
And what I'm hoping to do, or hoping to achieve, is get the detail done. We've got these that we've made up. I've got two more of those to make up, so I can get that fitted into here on the bulkhead.
Yeah.
Luckily, this tank we can remove. So
Happy days.
That can be painted up separately. And then what we do is we're going to prime it, paint it.
Yes.
Now, what I might do is I might on a Sunday come and do a bit of detail painting. You can hang out with while we're doing that. See how we go.
Yeah.
But that's the plan. Next is that I've obviously got to repeat the wiring, etc., into here. That's all ready to go. Yeah, all ready to rumble. It's all looking good. So.
Excellent. So quickly catch up with chat. So Joe is just saying, be careful what you ask for. You might just get it.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking he would say.
Yeah. And Lewis is saying, I'm going to be looking for a paper model for yourself, myself, and himself to do now.
Do I get the feeling that you've just been challenged as well, Carl?
No. It's all lies.
Like I say, he can look all he likes, but yeah.
The only paper model I've ever built was a Millennium Falcon, but it wasn't really paper. It was that like foam paper.
Yeah.
No, that's something I've really thought of. Paper model.
Well, I'll be honest. He doesn't need to look because I've got some up there, and I can send everybody one. But I don't want to do it. End of story.
Indeed.
But there, the last one, it was fun. I enjoyed doing it, but not again. Thank you. So there you go, guys. Thank you very much for spending a couple of hours with me, or just come up with a couple of hours. I really appreciate it. Those that are watching on Viewback, again, thank you for. Thank you very much, Joe. I'll read that in a second. Yeah, well, if you're watching it back on during another day, that's fine. Thank you very much for taking the time. Leave me a comment, tell me what you like and subscribe to the channel, blah blah, and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
If you want to support what I do, then there is a link at the top up here for the Buy Me a Coffee. It's up to you. It's no big deal if you don't. I'm not doing it for money. It just helps. That's all. So that's that. Where would we get to with as Carl just highlighted there, James? That's a neat trick for the wiring. We'll have to remember that one. Oh, get out of it. Learning from me, the master. A massive thank you to Carl for being the chat dolly and being with me. It really is so helpful. So thank you, Carl.
Always a pleasure, never a chore, as they say. So.
Yes. So that for me and Carl is it for now. Not sure when the next one will be. I'm hoping it will be fairly soon, but just have to keep keep your eyes posted. If you like to subscribe and press the bell, it'll tell you when the next one's on anyway. And of course, Saturday. Crash, are you around for the Saturday?
I am working this coming weekend.
Okay, so I think Steve is in charge of the stream next week. So I think I will be there. I don't think I'm on late or anything. So we'll see you then. If not, keep an eye on the posts, and we'll see you really soon. So
Yes.
for now, bye.
Toodaloo. Be good.